Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy DLloyd. So the NBA is back, man. We had not one but two phenomenal games, man. The New Orleans Pelicans and the Utah Jazz, a great game, a game where Utah had to come back from an early deficit and come back and get the dub, man. But of course, the game we're going to be talking about tonight, man, the Los Angeles Lakers against the Los Angeles Clippers, the Battle of LA in Orlando. But man, it was one heck of a game where we seen the Lakers come out and really dominate, establish that dominance early, but they kind of slacked in that second quarter and that third quarter, man. The Lakers went up 13 points. Second quarter, between the second quarter and the third quarter, I believe they went 14 minutes, somewhere around there, man. They went a long stretch where they were just absolutely cold, man. It was pretty brutal, man. It was definitely brutal for the Lakers, but they were able to bounce back, man. The Clippers took 11-point lead. The Lakers scrapped it in, man. Fourth quarter, they took a nice lead themselves. The Clippers, they then fought back, and then they came back, man. It was one heck of a game that came down to the wire. I'm just giving you guys my opinions and my thoughts on the game, man. The Lakers look good. The Clippers, they look good. This is one of those games where teams are going to struggle early. And I think it's going to happen for a lot of teams, man. The defense is going to look better than the offense. It's going to take a while for some of these guys to get their legs underneath them. It's going to take a while for everybody to figure out exactly how they want to play. For the Clippers, I said this in my last video, they haven't had their starting five really all season. And they did not have their full lineup today, man. Lou Williams, obviously, he's still in quarantine. He did not play. Montrezl Harrell, he's not even there. He did not play. Those are two guys coming off the bench that you could typically expect to get a lot of points. They were not there. So the Lakers are able to capitalize a little bit with that. Now, on the other end for the Lakers, of course, you don't have Avery Bradley. He's not going to be there at all. He's not coming back. Rajon Rondo, he's not there either. So for the Lakers, they weren't full strength. And what I mean by that is you're going to take some time for the new guys to really figure out their role. Dion Waiters, I think he played pretty well, but I think he'll end up playing better and better really as everything goes on, the playoffs progress, man. LeBron, really not LeBron today. Now, I could say he's really not LeBron, but this is my thing. Every time the Lakers have really played the Clippers, except for, the third matchup, LeBron's kind of been up and down, I would say, with this play. He still took 19 shots. He was 6 of 19, struggled shooting the ball, 2 for 7 from three-point line. I have the stats right here on my phone, so you see me looking down. But he did finish with the 16 points. Anthony Davis held everything down, especially in that first half, where I believe he had 20 points in the first half, if I'm not mistaken, 14 of that in the first quarter. But he was going to the line like crazy. And that is the advantage the Lakers are going to have against this Clippers team, is their size, right? JaVale McGee, I thought played really well. He probably should have logged a few more minutes, but it's all good. We know how JaVale McGee is. Dwight Howard was a dud today, man. More fouls than points. I believe he finished with 5 fouls, 1 point, and 3 rebounds. So it wasn't Dwight's night, man, at all. JaVale McGee, he was solid. 11 minutes, 6 points, 7 boards. I liked what he did out there. I thought maybe he could have logged more minutes. We've seen early the Lakers go to Anthony Davis at the 5. AD, how he feels about the 5, but it worked out. A lot of the times it worked out for the Lakers, really. I mean, you're going up against Joakim Noah at the 5. AD, he can handle his business there. Kawhi Leonard, I was a little hesitant, man, because he did not look good during the scrimmages. I know they're just scrimmages. His shot still didn't look fully back, but his mid-range game was there, able to get to the free throw line. That always helps any shooter really get into his rhythm. So for Kawhi, I think, he'll be able to eventually get his rhythm back, man. Hopefully LeBron James can get his rhythm back at some point as well. And a lot of people are online already saying, I don't see how the Lakers could win a 7-game series because, of course, no Lou Will, no Harrell, but LeBron, I don't expect him to go 6 for 19 every single night. So I think this is still one of those games. This doesn't really prove anything, really. Just bragging rights, right, between these two teams in LA. It does make it way more comfortable for the Lakers moving forward in the bubble, and it makes it a little bit more tough for the Clippers moving forward, because now the Clippers need to make sure that they can shield off Denver, because you don't want to drop. They're only a game and a half up of Denver. You don't want to drop to the third spot. You definitely don't want to drop to the fourth spot. So for them, they have a little bit more sense of urgency. For the Lakers, you now get an extra game up. Unless you lose out, you're the number one seed. So now for the Lakers, you're just trying to figure out, your rotations and all that good stuff. Get the legs behind you. J.R. Smith only logged, I believe it was 8 minutes. I would like him to play a little bit more. We'll see how everything goes. Dion Waiters, man, I was impressed with Dion. He had a nice spin move early in the game. Dion Waiters, I think, once he gets familiar and comfortable, I think he'll be a nice addition to the team. He's definitely going to be in that playoff rotation when things shorten up a bit. The Lakers, they got to figure out that front court. What they're going to do is AD the answer at the 5. He doesn't want to do it, but the Lakers play best when that happens. And then you bring in Kuzma. He was the first man off the bench. Kuz looked good, man. I liked what I seen out of Kuz. 4 from 7 from the three-point line, man. Kyle Kuzma wasn't really the same Kuzma early on in the season, but remember, he was coming off the injury. He didn't have a true offseason. This counted as somewhat of an offseason, right? Able to get those legs behind him, able to get that confidence back. You've seen him go off a little bit here in the scrimmage, and he had another solid game here. So if Kuzma, could get you 15 to 18 points a game, and then you got Dion Waiters coming off the bench, if he could get you, between 10 and 15 points a game, I like what the Lakers could do, man. The Clippers, once they get full strength, I like what they're going to be able to do, man. Even now, I mean, they're going to beat, obviously, a lot of teams. You just need to now make sure you get those wins, because you don't want to mess around. We'll see how Denver looks when they play. But you don't want to mess around too much and drop that 2 seed, especially if that means you end up playing Houston in that first round. Because when you got a team like Houston who could shoot lights out like that, anything can happen. I still think the Clippers are a better team than Houston, but I'm just saying, Houston's going to throw up 40 to 53s a game. And if they're hot, I mean, there's just not a lot you could do with that one, man. So we'll see what happens. This was a very, very entertaining game to watch. Does it mean much in the grand scheme of things? Not really. Not really. Just bragging rights, man. Now Lakers fans can say, hey, we're 2-2. We won the last 2 games. Clippers could say, hey, but we won the first 2 games. We didn't have Lou Will this game. Whatever the argument wants to be, doesn't really prove too much, but it is a bragging rights thing. Are these 2 teams destined to meet each other in the Western Conference Finals? We'll see. I think the Lakers will be there. I think the Clippers are going to have a tougher matchup, just because obviously not being that 1 seed, it is just going to be tougher to get out, right? You're going to end up meeting against Denver at some point. You're going to end up meeting maybe against Houston, if you drop to 3, which is why, you probably don't want to. 7, and that matchup with Denver right now, yeah, it could be, Denver might get a win or 2, right? I mean, they're a good up-and-coming team. You got Luka. Obviously, you got Porzingis, but I think the Clippers take care of that one, man. But good game. Definitely a good game. Came down to the wire. I was happy to see LeBron lock up at the end of the game. What you see right here, that was good to see. Hopefully, LeBron can get his legs under him, get his momentum going. And I think the Lakers, I think both teams will be fine, man. So we'll go ahead and get out of here, man. But you guys let me know in the comment section below, what did you think of the game overall? Is this a sign of anything, really? Or was it just an entertaining game of 2 of the top teams in the Western Conference, kind of figuring out, how they're going to move forward, playing without fans for the first time? I'm sure it may take, a few more games before everybody get used to it, but I love the intensity, especially, late in that quarter. That shot by Paul George to tie the game up, man, that was clutch, man. But you guys let me know you guys' thoughts and opinions. Who wins in the series if they meet up at some point, man, whether it's the second round or the Western Conference Finals, if they both take care of business. You don't want to sleep on other teams. If they both take care of business, who wins? Who do you have right now in a 7-game series? Let me know in the comment section below. It's your boy DLloyd. I'm going to see y'all next time. Peace.